Hello, I'm Peter Vaughan, and today I'm at the Caravan and Motorhome Club's Wirral Country Park site with this, the Fiat Ducato based Malibu Diversity 600 DBK. But it's not just a Malibu van Diversity 600 DBK. This is the exclusive line version, the Charming GT Skyview with the big overcab sunroof, and it's also a family for four because it's got a pop top. All will be explained in this video. Now it might just sound like Malibu have dipped into the English dictionary and picked out a random set of words, but diversity is described as the all-rounder with XL kitchen comfort and a generous feeling of space. Well, let's see about that. First of all, I should explain that Diversity is the newest model in the Malibu van range, and it's also available in two sizes. This 600 DBK, which is the 6-metre model with a transverse double bed at the back, and the 640 LEK, which has single beds at the back. Nothing unusual about that. That's very much the tradition in continental campervans. And what about Malibu? Well, Carthago has been building campervans since its inception in 1979, firstly with VWs. It then faded out of the campervan market as it concentrated more on high-end coach builts and A-classes, but it returned to the campervan market with Fiats back in 2013, so it's got plenty of experience in this sector. So, what about the dreaded subject of money? Well, in theory, you could buy this Diversity 600 DBK with the overcab sunroof, that's the GT Skyview version, for £63,280. And you could even save yourself a bit more, a further £2,110 of saving, by going for a left-hand drive one like this. But this isn't a standard Diversity 600 DBK. It has a lot of options. So to buy one, as you see here in left-hand drive form, £85,050. So what do you get in that? Well, I'm not going to go through every option, but the key packages which add considerably to the price are the chassis package, which includes things like cab blinds, fly screen for the sliding door, electric mirrors, passenger seat height adjustment, rear upholstered cab seats, wiring for the radio, 90-litre fuel tank, chrome finish on the grille, and rear parking sensors. That's £3,270. Then there's the main cabin package, which adds lashing hooks in the luggage compartment, the boot at the back, an upgraded kitchen centre. I think that's some finish, some matte white finish. The Truma CP Plus control panel, roof cover with microfiber finish, insulated wastewater tank, cold foam mattress for the rear bed, and a living area ceiling canopy with indirect LED ambient lighting. That's £1,520. The driver's assistance package, all sorts of modern tech, things like automatic main beam, tyre pressure monitoring, folding mirrors, lane assist, traffic sign recognition, automatic windscreen wipers, and emergency brake assist. That's £1,540. And then there's the pop-up roof, or the family for four package, which turns this two-berth camper into a four-berth for £4,420. Now that little lot is £10,750 worth. But then we've got another long list of options. So, as you can see, this is the long wheelbase, or L3 or 6-metre Fiat Ducato, 5.998 metres long to be precise. It's also 2.05 metres wide, same with any other Fiat Ducato panel van, and 2.58 metres high, or it would be if it wasn't a family for four. So that takes it up to 2.69 metres high. Now, Malibu described these as premium framed windows. They do still stick quite a long way out from the bodywork, unlike some of the very flush windows that you see on some upmarket campervans. So, good, but perhaps not as smart looking as some of them. They've also gone for quite a bold graphic set, and I've just been talking to a Hymer campervan owner, who rather liked this and preferred this look to their own van. Personally, I think I prefer the plainer look of the Hymer, which just shows how personal these things are. However, I do like the overall look. It does look like a premium van with these 16-inch alloy wheels and this optional Artense grey metallic bodywork. The metallic paint, by the way, is £980. Other things to look at along this near side, well, of course, you've got your toilet servicing hatch, your mains hookup, and the vent for your Truma boiler. Whether you go for the left-hand drive or right-hand drive, the sliding door remains on the UK offside. And there's a wide electric step for the door. It doesn't automatically retract, but you do get one of those piercing buzzers, so you're not going to drive off with it out. You've got the fly screen on the door, and I have to say that feels a bit more substantial than some of them. The awning, of course, is an option, £1,250, and if you want the LED strip light on your awning, that's a further £260. Moving back along the vehicle, the freshwater filler is here. Freshwater tank, of course, inboard for proper winterisation. It's 100 litres of fresh water, and then the wastewater tank is underslung as part of one of the packs. It's insulated, 92 litres capacity, and if you want, you can upgrade to heating for the waste tank as well. Another option is this little rail, so you can take your table from the dinette and use it outside. That's 120 quid, but you can go further, and for £310 you can have a second table, which you'd have to store in the garage. That just clips onto the rail, leg slots in underneath, and the advantage of having the second table is the leg has a bit of height adjustment, so if you're not parked perfectly level, you can adjust it. And if you have the second table, of course, you can have someone using the inside table while somebody else uses the outside one. Before we move around the back of the van, just look at how you drain the grey waste. Just twist a handle, how it should be done. No fiddly little tap. I should perhaps also have pointed out that this Malibu van doesn't have the trademark porthole style windows, which last time I tested a Malibu, some of you rather rudely said were toilet seat windows, but love them or hate them, you can have them as an option on this diversity if you want. What you do get as standard is these big double glazed windows in the back doors, and nicely trimmed back doors too. Inside here, of course, you've got your gas locker on the near side. That takes two 11-kilo cylinders. Forward of that is your Truma Combi boiler. Now, as standard in the UK, you get the Truma Combi 4E, so it's a 4 kilowatt gas and electric system. This particular vehicle has been upgraded to the 6E, so the more powerful 6 kilowatt one, but still gas and electric. Now, you've got a large boot area, as you'd expect in this sort of camper van. Depth into the vehicle is a maximum of 1.31 metres. Width across between the furniture here, 94 centimetres, and height up to 74 centimetres. But if you need more, well, let me show you what to do. Did you spot the neat storage for the awning winding handle? Anyway, if you want more storage in the garage, the bed bases simply tip up. You've got these little hooks that come out from the top cupboards. Fold it on the other side as well. And even the central supports can all be removed, as can this panel here. You've got the lashing points in the floor, and also you've got twin wardrobes, both very small, both at best shirt length. Now this one is accessible quite easily from the interior of the van, although the door clashes with the carpet, so you have to lift that little bit of carpet before you can get to it. This one is a bit more hidden away. You've got this press stud panel to get at it from the garage, but it might therefore be blocked in at that point. And if you've got all your bedding on top of here, well, it wouldn't be terribly easy to get at this. So perhaps that's spare clothes rather than things you're going to want very often. And likewise, you've got a bit of storage over on top of the boiler over here, but again, not very easy to access on a regular basis. Somewhere perhaps to keep some valuables or something you might need towards the end of your trip as the weather changes. So we're back into bed mode, but it does just show you the advantages of this type of layout over, say, a rear lounge. Not only have you got all that storage and the flexibility of turning it into a full height garage, but of course you've got the comfort of a proper bed at night. And I think this is probably a class leading size of bed for a 6-metre campervan. It's 1.92 metres long, so they've gone right into the shape of the Ducato van rather than panelling it out flat. So it's 6 foot 3.5 inches long. Width is very generous too, 1.59 metres at the head, narrowing to 1.46 at the foot. In Imperial, that's 5 foot 2.5, narrowing to 4 foot 9.5. So a very good bed, very comfy, cold foam mattress on a slatted base. You've got this nice array of cupboards around the top with downlighters, USB ports, even a little roof light, despite the fact that you've got the pop top. Because the pop top doesn't go the full length of the van, they've got room for this little roof vent, which I rather like. And also they've panelled the bottom of the rear windows so that you're not sleeping against the blinds and damaging them. Another great little detail, even little storage pockets in the back corners and shelves up here. What don't I like though? Well, I think you've guessed, haven't you? You can't really sit up in bed. However, on the plus side again, access is nice and easy because of this really neat little step. So that's bedroom number one. And if you want the branded blanket and pillows, those are what the zany Germans will call a world of sleep set. And it'll cost you 370 quid. But bedroom two is important if you're going to use this as a family van, and that's quite logically called a family for four pop top. So inside you have belt and braces approach with two catches on either side. The second one simply untwists, and then you just need to give it a good old shove. And up she goes. Malibu says that the GRP lid of the pop top is protected against hail damage, and that the roof adds 105 kilos to the vehicle's weight, which they seem to be saying is a class leading figure. What you do need to know is that of course you need a ladder to get up there, and that it's much easier to put the roof up than to pull it down, which does require a bit of muscle. However, with a ladder in place, up you go to a full-size double bed. And once up here, you've got a bed that's 2.02 metres long by 1.3 metres wide. That's 6 foot 7.5 by 4 foot 3. The mattress Again, seems a nice quality, and it sits on a membrane so you don't get any condensation issues. You've got plenty of ventilation up here with two big fly screen panels, one in the front and one in the off side, and just a window in the near side. And then you've got spotlights set into the roof and an optional USB port at the foot of the bed. Of course, with a fixed bed layout in a 6-metre camper van, the lounge is never going to be huge, and this is the typical arrangement with a half dinette and the two swivel cab seats. But it does feel more spacious, partly because of this generous and rather stylish lighting, and partly because you've got the GT Skyview, the overcab window. It's not as big as some, and it is fixed, but it does let lots of extra light into the front of the vehicle and means that you've got full height walk-through into the cab as well. Now, there is a version of the Diversity with the full height walk-through, but without the Skyview if you prefer that, or the standard model, of course, has the overcab shelf, which would be a useful place to keep the ladder for the upstairs bed. But I digress. Typical wall-mounted table, just a catch on the side to release it and slide it backwards and forwards, and then it locks into place. You've got the usual swing out extension leaf, so you can reach it from the right hand front cab seat, which would normally be the driver's seat, of course. You've got rear speakers, downlighters over the table, downlighters in the ceiling. No specific reading lights, but it does have plenty of artificial illumination in here, and it all looks high quality, very stylish. This optional fabric is very nice with part leather, looks very premium, if you like. And again, with the furniture, it feels solid. You've got these very substantial hinges, positive locking, these nice chrome strips that run through right into the overcab and then round the overcab. And there are even little lockers in the corners of the overcab, so they haven't completely wasted that overcab space. And so much better to have little lockers than open pockets where, well, things are going to fall out. The rear travel seat doesn't have any fancy mechanisms to make it wider or recline as some do, but it does still feel very comfortable. There's a good shape to the backrest. Good quality seating too. I think that makes a hell of a difference. And then there's some nice detailing. There's a really large drawer under the side of the seat with a very small bin. Presumably Malibu owners don't throw very much away. And that drawer doesn't encompass the whole of the underseat storage. You can just lift the seat base to get at the rest of it. And there's more storage under the false floor that brings the whole seating area at the same level. So that's more practical hidden storage, because with the carpets in place, you wouldn't know it was there. Carpets, of course, are another option. And another option, you can have a 24-inch TV on the wall behind me here. Now, if the half dinette is exactly as you'd expect of a Continental campervan, so in many ways is the kitchen. But this angle that widens the aisle towards the front it's only slight, but it is a bonus. And another bonus is these huge kitchen drawers. Yes, when they're pulled out, they do rather dominate the aisle, so you'll have to step to one side. But what excellent storage they provide. And you've got 3 of them, the top one with space for cutlery. Another really good feature is this worktop extension at the end. Well, you might think, well, I've seen that a million times before, but this one has single handle operation, and there's a main socket just underneath too for your kettle or whatever. It's very much the predictable 2-burner hob, but you can have an oven as an option at £925, and I presume you'll lose some of this drawer space if you do. Another main socket up here, and then I rather like this unit here, which provides useful storage at eye level. All sorts of cereal packets and coffee and all sorts of things can go in there, and Again, like the drawers, nice and easy to find. You're not scrabbling around on the floor or reaching into the back of a cupboard somewhere. And then the fridge is here, slightly raised worktop, but you still have got worktop here. And it's a compressor fridge. So 12 volt only, and well, once you've switched it on, that's all you have to do. No worrying about switching between different power sources. It's an 84 litre capacity, and it has a nighttime mode so that it's quieter at night. And then there's the sink with this split lid. Again, not a glass lid, so proper solid worktops, and with part of the sink lid left in place, whichever bit you want to. It does, again, make this area a bit more practical. The only thing you should note is that the sink is quite small. It's not as wide as a dinner plate. And so to the washroom, which is in the usual place, but is perhaps the most unusual feature in the whole van. For a start, you've got this two-part sliding door. And then inside, well, it appears that there's a decent amount of space. You've got an opening window too, and these little storage pockets, as well as a big cupboard under the basin. The basin itself is quite small. There's very little worktop around it. And above, what appears to be more cupboard space is just a fixed mirror. But what's really clever in this space is the toilet slides away underneath at the back, under the foot of the bed there. That gives you a lot more room for showering. And then there's one tambour door covers off the basin, and another tambour door creates a proper shower cubicle, one that's got really good space, twin drains so the water goes away without any fuss, and it's as good a shower as you're likely to find in a camper van. So driving this Malibu, well, this one's got the 140 bhp engine with the 9-speed automatic gearbox. Now that automatic gearbox is a £3,530 option. And it is super smooth. It makes driving this Fiat very pleasurable indeed. It doesn't make it very sparkling performance-wise though. I know this is a brand spanking new van, but coming down the motorway yesterday to get here, it didn't feel that lively. If you're retired, not in a rush, you'll probably be fine with it. But if you've only got 2 weeks for your summer holiday and you want to get to the south of France quick, then you probably want the 180 horsepower engine, which would be more money still, of course. Yes, I mean, this one's left-hand drive, which would be nice for continental touring. Does it make it any harder to drive? No, it doesn't. If you've driven a few left-hand drives, you'll soon be used to this. What else have you got? Well, we've got the assistance pack with all the modern gizmos, the lane assist, which actually I found quite nice on the motorway. It just gives you a little gentle nudge if you're drifting in your lane a little bit. The Pioneer 9-inch multimedia unit, that's £1,380, but it is a very clear unit, nice reversing camera built into that, as well as sat-nav and Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now you might have heard a little rattle then as we went over a pothole. Yes, there are 1 or 2 rattles. It's better than some, not as good as some others. But overall, yeah, it's I would say it's definitely better than average, or quite a bit better than average in terms of conversion noise. What else can I tell you? Well, you've got the usual horrible, cheap, scratchy Fiat plastics, but a nice leather steering wheel with all the switches for the cruise control and so on there. and it's very, very easy to drive. You've got your twin lens door mirrors, your reversing camera, and it's only 6 meters long. So when I nipped to the supermarket last night, it's easy to park, it's easy to maneuver. And really, you wouldn't get all these facilities into anything smaller. Yeah, I mean, even Malibu do a 5.4 metre van, but then everything is just that little bit more squished in. So overall, a very easy, pleasant vehicle to drive. So final verdict time on the Malibu van Diversity GT Skyview 600 DBK. Shouldn't the word charming be in there somewhere too? And maybe family for 4. Anyway, it's a ridiculously long name for what is actually a very good, very premium campervan. If you like this sort of design with a fixed double bed at the back, well, then this is definitely a premium offering, premium priced, but premium quality too, and premium design. Now, remember, Malibu described it as an all-rounder with XL kitchen comfort and a generous feeling of space. Well, I think not having any tall furniture, any wardrobe or full-height fridge or anything down the offside, that does make a difference. It does make it feel more open and spacious. But I think Malibu is perhaps missing a trick. The real advantages of this model are the clever washroom, which makes a really good shower, and the wide bed with that easy access step. But what don't I like? Well, I don't like the fact I can't sit up in bed because yet again they've stuck a cupboard over the head of the bed. Why do motorhome manufacturers do this? I don't know. Anyway, that, and I think the way the bed folds up to make a garage could be easier. But other than that, there is a lot to like in this van. So if you're looking for a top-of-the-range campervan, put Malibu on your list. And don't forget that all these motorhome reviews are brought to you by MMM Magazine, Britain's oldest and best motorhome magazine for over 50 years.